Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first video, so I'm kind of excited to add video onto my blog. So if you're new here, make sure you visit my blog at www.lifelemonsandlemonade.com. You see it on the screen down there. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I love engaging with my readers. People have questions all the time about stuff that I've been through and what life is like, which will make more sense to you after I tell you my story. My guest room. It's the only room in my house that's been decorated, so this is where I'm going to record. So to start off, my name is Leah. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 20 years old in December of 2001. I've had two severe flares in my life. The first one was in 2004, and it was mostly canker sores in my mouth, which I've had my whole life. But I was swollen all over the inside of my mouth. I mean, to the point where I couldn't even use my mouth. I couldn't even talk or eat or do anything. And I was running really high fever, so I went to the hospital and I was taken back to the ICU, and I spent 4 days there while they tried to figure out what was going on. So after that, they switched up my medication a little bit and got me started on something different, and then that maintained me until May of 2007. I checked into the hospital again with a really high fever, and this time I was down for 2 years. So I mean, I spent about 14 months in the hospital, and I was sick in bed, whether it be at the hospital or at home, for 2 years. So after I had been in the hospital for about 4 months, in September of 2007, my doctor came in and he let me know that they had found stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma inside my colon, and we started chemo that very same night. So I went through the chemo treatments, and since I was getting every infection that passed through the hospital, they actually let me go home and do my chemo treatments while I was at home. So we went in and I had chemo treatments for 6 months, and on Halloween night of 2007, I shaved my head. Because I had been losing my hair really bad. It was just coming out by the handfuls, and it was just getting to the point where it was just like silly to try to hold on to it. So after I finished chemo in January of 2008, and I've been cancer free ever since then, I finished chemo in January of 2008. They had laid off of the Crohn's disease medications because before they did anything drastic, they were hoping that maybe taking the chemo would sort of ease the inflammation that was caused by my Crohn's disease, but it didn't. So in March of 2008, I had my first bowel resection, and I had my rectum and the first few inches of my colon removed, which left me with a colostomy. A few months later, my inflammation came back and my body wasn't responding to medication. I had been on Asacol, Pentasa, Prednisone, Imuran, Remicade, and Humira, and I just wasn't responding the way that my body needed to. So in November of 2008, I went back into the hospital and had all of my large intestine removed, which left me with a permanent ileostomy. So I've had that for 6 years, and it was definitely a learning curve. I mean, it took some time, but definitely the happiest and the healthiest I've been since then. So we're definitely going to talk a lot about that. There's a lot of things that I hope you'll stick around for. I have a lot of things I want to tell you. There's a lot of things I like to do to try to reach out to help others. And in the meantime, we'll talk a lot about stuff I like to do in my life that keeps me happy and not just focused on Crohn's disease. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on my blog, so I hope you'll stick around, and I hope to include a lot of YouTube videos on my blog and on this channel. So if you have any questions, don't forget you can contact me on my blog at lifelemonsandlemonade.com. We'll see you around.